Good afternoon. This is the Bar Torah on Hoshana Rabbah. It is the seventh day of the holiday of Sukkot, and is probably one of the least understood of the significant days in our calendar, Jewish calendar. Um, and there's some questions one can ask on it. For example, it's one of two nights where there's a tradition to stay up all night learning, the other one being Shavuos, which is more well known because it was Matan Torah. Also, people have the custom of getting up early, davening Nate's sunrise for sunrise, which is another unusual thing. We also go around with the Arba Minim, the Lulav, and the other three Minim, seven times instead of one, like we did in the first 6 days. And interestingly enough, on this holiday, the Shliach Tzibor, the one leading the prayer for Musaf, the additional Shemon Esrei, wears a kittel. Nobody else but just him, and that's where many men have the minhag custom of wearing it on both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So, what is the significance? To truly understand this, one has to first of all look at the role, the place, what Hoshana Rabbah achieves. Now, it's well known on Rosh Hashanah, Hashem, God, writes a judgment on people. Be good, bad, or in Beinoni, most of us in between. On Yom Kippur, the judgment is sealed. And on Hoshana Rabbah, the seventh day, it's sent out and delivered, because one cannot enforce a judgment against somebody. This is true in civil courts as well, religious courts as well as the heavenly court, without the judgment being delivered to the person who is the subject of it. Now, so on Hoshana Rabbah, the judgment is sent out. Now, what the connection does this have to the two other aspects, which is that I mentioned, is because this is the final day Hashem in the cycle can rescind the bad judgment. Now, why would he rescind the bad judgment? There, and this explains why some people stay up all night learning. The last time we have to do tshuva and that the Shem will change the opinion is Alas Shachar. Alas Shachar is the first light, it's not sunrise. And therefore, by staying up all night, we're showing Hashem learning, which is the most important mitzvah for God. We're showing we're on his side, and that the angel will go back to God and said, listen, he's been up learning all night. And this also applies to the two other matters of the Arba Minim and the rest of it, and going around seven times has other meanings, but one of them is showing Hashem how much we care, recreating the time when at Jericho and at the time of Yeshua, they went around the city seven times and it collapsed, even though it was a very powerful walled city. And that's another aspect, and that's why the Shliach Tzibor, the person leading the davening, wears a kittel to remind us. And even if we don't stay up all night learning, or even if that's not sufficient, then the angel will see us all dancing, doing the waving the Arba Minim, and something I'll get to in a minute, also hitting five Ravot. Why is this done? It's, again, all the same type of concept of sweetening the judgment. Now, that's on one level. Another level, it's a recognition of Hashem in a very profound way. On the Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, Hashem proclaims, as they say, 40 days before a human child is conceived, the heavenly voice will say that this boy will be engaged to this girl when they grow up, obviously. And this is here. So who's the match on Tu B'Av? It's God with Knesset Israel, the Jewish people. Now, 40 days later, on the 25th of Elul, Hashem started the creation of the universe. It was the first day of creation, and the whole purpose of the universe was to create it for the Jewish people. It's the first day of the physical creation. And on Rosh Hashanah is the sixth day of creation. The reason it's said in the prayers in Rosh Hashanah, it's the birthday of the world, because until man and woman were created, the world had no purpose. It was all preparatory. So let's look a little closer at those two dates. There were 26 days from the creation, first day of creation of the world, till the 21st of Tishrei, which is the day of Hoshana Rabbah. Now, the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei of Hashem, which has a gematria 26, is recognition Hashem as creator of the entire universe, not just man, the entire physical universe. And by extension, the spiritual worlds. Now, it's also, if you look from first day of Rosh Hashanah, first Tishrei, it's 21 days until the 21st of Tishrei, which is Hoshana Rabbah. And the name Yud-Kei Vav shows Hashem's the control of mankind. Everything we see is ultimately engineered by Hashem behind the scenes, and that applies to events we're even seeing unfolding before our eyes now, which will hopefully begin the peace process and definitely hopefully the release of the hostages. And that is showing that Hashem is the true master and not humans of any type, leaders, non-leaders. And so this day of Hoshana Rabbah, we're also, by crowning the king again in a different way, we're showing his mastery. We're not only declaring the king like we did on Rosh Hashanah, we're showing his mastery over both the physical and the spiritual universe. And by doing that, we are truly recognizing Hashem. And as we see from some of the other things that we do on Hoshana Rabbah, it's beyond the scope of this. We're praying for water for everybody, not just for Jewish people, for the entire world. There should be enough water given in proper ways that are non-destructive and will only help the world prosper. That's another significance of this day, which is culminated the day after Hoshana Rabbah, Shmini Atzeret. It's a separate holiday where it's like, now that we've done everything for the world, and we prayed for the rain, and we're praying for the nations as well as ourselves, it's like a king says, listen, we've had a public display, we've had a public meeting, now he calls his favorites in, and they're having a private party, private dinner, and that is what Shmini Atzeret is, the 8-day gathering. It's the final day, and its equivalence is Shavuot, which is the 8th day, even though it takes many days to get to it, the 8th-day gathering of Pesach. May we all have a very peaceful Hoshana Rabbah and Shmini Atzeret, and may it be the beginning of hopefully a year of peace and prosperity. I would like to wish everybody a hug, and a good Yom Tov.